It's the final day of a 9-day period of mourning for Pope Francis. This is the look showing St. Peter's Square, and Catholic cardinals presided over the morning mass there today for Pope Francis. Starting later this week, their focus will shift to selecting the church's next leader. The conclave is scheduled to start on Wednesday. The group of cardinals making the selection will gather behind closed doors inside the Sistine Chapel and remain there until they've selected a new pope. The cardinals making the selection will come from across the globe, including many from here in the United States. One of them is Cardinal Daniel DiNardo with the Archdiocese in Houston. Reporter Ron Trevino spoke with him about taking part in the centuries-old traditions that begin on Wednesday.
Good morning, Cardinal DiNardo. How is everything in Rome this morning?
Things are well today, Ron. After the meeting this morning, I had a nice bowl of pasta back here where I'm staying.
Buon lavoro, buon lavoro, buona giornata.
DiNardo says coffee breaks at these cardinal meetings are even more essential for talking things out as the world looks forward to a new pope and predictions are already being made. Bookmakers are already placing odds on who the next pope might be, but isn't it often a surprise?
It's always a surprise, Ron, no matter what the bookmakers say.
Okay, you don't want to predict anything, but how many votes do you think you'll get, Cardinal?
Probably one, and it won't be mine.
On May 7th, the Cardinals will enter the Sistine Chapel and the voting begins.
As you are in there, it's a very reverent spirit. It's very beautiful. And the Cardinals are very respectful of all that. They know that they're walking into that chapel for a really important thing.
But till then, it's more meetings and, well, Italian food.
Viva Italia!
They had the best bowl of pasta, aglio e olio, today. It was really good.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
As for the huge job ahead of picking a pope, he's asking for prayers from the faithful back here at home.
You can follow coverage from the Vatican all week as soon as the conclave begins with the 5 News app. We'll also send out an update to your phone as soon as a new pope is selected. Well, developing tonight, law enforcement in Brazil say they've arrested 2 people that were plotting to bomb a Lady Gaga concert this weekend. The concert happened in Rio de Janeiro this weekend and was the biggest in Lady Gaga's career, with an estimated 2.5 million people in attendance. According to investigators, the 2 people who were arrested were trying to recruit teenagers to help carry out the attack. They believe the group was trying to target LGBT individuals. A spokesperson for Lady Gaga released a statement saying she only learned of the allegations today, and law enforcement didn't raise any safety concerns ahead of the concert. President Trump was talking trade tariffs again today. He spoke on the issue in one of his most wide-ranging interviews since returning to office earlier this year. During the interview on NBC's Meet the Press, Trump says the White House has no plans to change course and thinks the changes will lead to long-term growth for American industry.
Ultimately, I take responsibility for everything, but I've only just been here for a little more than 3 months. But the stock market, look at what's happened in the last short period of time. Didn't it have 9 or 10 days in a row or 11 days where it's gone up? And the tariffs have just started kicking in. And we're doing really well. Psychologically, I mean, the fake news was giving me such press on the tariffs. The tariffs are going to make us rich. We're going to be a very rich country.
As tariffs on foreign imports begin to take effect, there's been rumors circulating online that ports have been seeing fewer cargo vessels, and the Port of Seattle is turning into a ghost town. Jessica Janner with our Verified team explains if there's any truth to those claims.
This post, shared online, says the Port of Seattle is effectively dead and there isn't a single international cargo ship at the port. It comes as the U.S. imposed 145% tariffs on most Chinese imports. We decided to verify the claims. Our sources are the Northwest Seaport Alliance, which manages all marine cargo operations for the Port of Seattle and Port of Tacoma, and Vessel Finder, which tracks vessel positions in real time. According to Vessel Finder, as of Monday, there were 3 cargo ships docked, 1 registered from Portugal, 1 from Singapore, and 1 from Hong Kong. Those are those yellow dots that you see right here. The Northwest Seaport Alliance says it's expecting 15 more cargo ships over the next week between the Port of Seattle and Port of Tacoma, with 12 of those ships containing goods from China. The Seaport Alliance says port traffic is up 7% in the last 30 days, but the forecast doesn't look as good.
The last forecast I saw was forecasting out over the next 3 months, and each month was forecasted to be down around 25% per month.
It says some ships are coming in with less cargo than anticipated, in some cases 30% lower.
Unfortunately, we are beginning to see a reduction in the total number of containers coming off any particular vessel when they come in.
The Seaport Alliance says it's hearing reports of canceled U.S. export orders, leaving some businesses scrambling to find other markets to send their goods to.
Unfortunately, we've heard stories now of our agricultural exporters having to come back to the terminal and pick up containers full of agricultural exports to return back and store them as they wait for a customer.
So we can verify the Port of Seattle is not a ghost town right now, but the Seaport Alliance says it will be closely watching what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Also happening this week, the Real ID program is set to begin after decades of delays. This coming Wednesday will be the first day airports and federal buildings will start requiring the Real ID. The program was originally passed by Congress after the September 11th terror attacks. The enhanced security measures mean you'll have to present extra forms of identification to get a Real ID compliant license. Even if you don't meet Wednesday's deadline, you'll still be able to upgrade to be Real ID compliant at any license office in Arkansas and Oklahoma. You'll just need to upgrade before boarding a flight or entering a federal building.
After May 7th, you can still get a Real ID. You can still walk into any revenue office across the state. We have 134 of them and obtain a Real ID. And that will be the case for years to come. But beginning May 7th, if you do want to board an aircraft or enter a federal building or even a nuclear power property, you're going to have a Real ID.
We have all the details on the additional documents you'll need to be Real ID compliant on our website at 5newsonline.com. Well, the Community Creative Center in Fayetteville hosted its 4th annual Arkansas Pottery Festival this weekend, bringing together potters from across the country. Potters from as far as California and Iowa gathered at the Walton Arts Center for a weekend of art and connection. The festival featured demonstrations, sales, and a chance to explore Arkansas's rich pottery history, dating all the way back to the 1800s. Visitors enjoyed browsing unique pieces from intricately painted bowls to handcrafted mugs, all while connecting with the artists behind the work.
Arkansas has some really deep history being a center for pottery. Cane Hill has some amazing history being a central location for pottery making into the early and mid and late 1800s.
The festival wrapped up today, but you can mark your calendars for next year's event. The Community Creative Center says it's always held the first weekend of May. And this afternoon, some of Mexico's best soccer players were in Fort Smith playing for a good cause. 5 News reporter Parker Abels was there and explains why these players were right here in Arkansas.
Here at Northside High School today in Fort Smith, they hosted an event called Kickin' with a Cause, where they brought some of Mexico's best soccer players to play against local talent. The team is called Chivas America, a prominent soccer team in Mexico filled with former pros and Mexican national team players. While this is a great opportunity for players and fans to get to see this team up close and personal, it also gives the Arkansas Family Alliance a chance to raise money to support families across the River Valley. All funds raised here go directly to the Alliance. Matt Whitson, Executive Director and co-founder of the Arkansas Family Alliance, tells us just how important this event is for the Hispanic community here in Fort Smith.
You can talk to the Hispanic community and start talking about Las Chivas or Chivas Americas. You understand the importance of what that means to them, and just bringing them from Mexico over here to play in this game and allow that community of people to get to enjoy this. You know, it's really, really, really cool.
Whitson also tells me that they are already planning for a similar event next year, bringing in a new prominent team from Mexico. Well, in Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Parker Abels, 5 News.
The Prairie Grove United Methodist Church hosted a pasta dinner this weekend to raise money for the parents of a premature baby that's receiving treatment in the NICU at Washington Regional. Organizers say the baby's parents have had to take a lot of time off work, and this weekend's fundraiser will make ends meet while their new arrival receives care.
you kind of get what you give, and they have given and continue to give a lot. And in return, hopefully, we are helping them out with all these unexpected, whether it be doctor visits or doctor bills, just a different life than what they had originally anticipated.